Welcome to We Know Marketing, We Promise, the podcast where strategy meets conversation. We're Naoma and Kelsey, two agency owners who live and breathe branding and marketing. We're here to share real stories, smart strategies, and fresh ideas to help you build a brand that actually works. So grab a seat and your favorite drink and let's dive in. Welcome back.
Welcome back to round 2 of this episode, but you'll never hear the first round because Kelsey's mic was out. So
you wouldn't have been able to hear it anyways.
We have been experiencing technical issues, but work-life balance. Somebody on your Instagram asked to talk about this.
Yes. I think it was, how do you manage it all? Like they're kind of asking, as a business owner, how are you guys managing it all? So then how do I also manage it all?
Yeah.
And I mean, the answer is you don't. You definitely don't by yourself, I would say.
Yeah, you don't by yourself. And I think just being aware that you're not going to do everything perfectly, right?
Yeah.
So I think it was Shonda Rhimes that did the whole, like, you can do everything, but you're not going to do everything well. So like to really focus in when you're doing one thing, to put your energy on that.
Yeah, and be fully present with what's right in front of you. That's something I've been practicing a lot lately. Mm-hmm. And I would say is one of the ways I do try to balance the work-life pendulum that I don't think even exists. Because I don't think balance exists. There's different seasons. Everything is always changing. You're always changing as a person. So the second you would come into balance, you would then need to rebalance because something would change with work, your kids, yourself. Your health.
Yeah. Also, when I hear balance, I feel tension, right?
Yeah.
And I don't know. I don't think that we can just compartmentalize our lives in that way, right?
So no, I think we would like to pretend we can.
Yeah, but we can't. I mean,
so that's why there's all these books on work-life balance. Because I mean, I think we wish we could balance it all, but we can't. So I think that this version for me would be, here are ways that I cope with being a busy entrepreneur, being a mom, running at my house, having friends, being in community, wanting to, be involved in Oklahoma City and experience the things that we have going on. Like, I guess this episode will be more of how I feel like I'm tactically trying to do that. And some weeks are great and some weeks are terrible. Let's just be honest.
Well, like, for me, I think it's like knowing that balance does not exist. There are seasons, right? Sometimes it's more hustle grind. Sometimes it's, hey, I need to relax and be aware of what's in front of me.
Yeah.
But I think the first one is grace, and then the second one is we don't do it all ourselves. Like, the idea that there's one person that's running the show and doing everything, that's not feasible. Like, there's a whole support system that a lot of people don't see. Even like with highly successful people, there's a whole team behind them. So thinking that you can do all of that is very hard.
Yeah, and it's so much pressure to put on yourself, because with motherhood and running my business and even friendships and, mental and emotional health, physical health, like, I have a support system of different people in every single one of those pockets. So I think of my team at Stevie, and I have 5 different people that are executing client fulfillment alongside me. And then with the podcast, like, I have you and Peely, and then my team too, and Sam, and other people that we've texted that, aren't even in that smaller core group of people. And then motherhood, I have like all of my really close friends from my community group that help so much with Esther, and I can also help them with their kids. And I mean, they're all different people, and some of the pockets like overlap, but what I've realized is how desperately we need people. Like, we need community. We need that village mindset of like, we're here to take care of each other. And in that, you're giving a lot, but you're also receiving a lot. And so I think that would probably be my number one, is like, surround yourself with amazing people that you are supporting, and you're also able to receive support back, because it can be really easy to take meals to, a new mom and support her in that new stage. But then when I, have experienced a lot of like chronic illness in the last 8 months, it's been really hard for me to receive like any empathy, any support, like if someone were to offer to bring food over, I would be like, that's ridiculous. Like, don't do that. You don't need to do that. That's, you do that for, and it's almost like this pride that I have, and I have to humble myself to even receive help. And so my number one by far is like support system.
Support system for sure.
And I have that with work too. And I could give a million examples of like my team and the ways, I mean, Amanda specifically really fights for my time and fights for me to take time off with Esther. And like, she knows that I've not done that really well in the last 4.5 years that I've had Esther. And so she fought for that vacation that I had. And I need people to do that because sometimes I don't think I'm worthy of that. And it's like, well, I think they're worthy of a vacation, so I'm going to fight for that for them. And so I really do need people to also do that for me, even in the workspace.
So number one is support.
For me, yeah.
For you. I mean, I think for me too, I don't think I have as strong as a support system as you do or as many pockets. But I do have a pretty strong team, though we're pretty small. And Peely's kind of the fighter. She's the gatekeeper between me and a lot of clients because clients just want to have meetings all the time for no reason. Support is important. I think the other one is I have very strict processes to how things happen that I know that every time I break a process, it's just not going to end well for me, my team, my client. It's just not a good scenario for us. So I'm a big stickler about processes.
Yeah.
Even if that means saying no to a client.
I have gotten to the place where I have enough accountability in my business that I have to stick to the processes. And it's very noticeable if I don't stick to our processes. And I can, not that they will call me out. I think Amanda will call me out, but I don't know that anyone else on the team will call me out. But it's like, oh yeah, I can't do that because this wasn't done yet.
Peely will call me or text me, and
she has no filter. Yeah, my team, on the other hand, might be. We're not there yet because they're a little bit.
No, I'm in jail if we break a process. I am in jail, or if I even if I like overstep a little bit and I start to do Peely's job, I am. Pray for me. I may not be coming back from that call.
She's like, I will put you in your place.
Yeah, which is so needed because I cannot do that. But yeah, process is a big one for me. And I think yesterday when we were talking about this, it was also about just how we start our days.
Oh yeah.
Like that's big.
Yeah. It's kind of, because I think we got to the place where it's like, okay, what are our healthy coping mechanisms so that we can balance and intentionally starting. I mean, it really, for me, comes down to being intentional in every area of my life. So in the morning, how I spend my couple of hours that I have before Esther wakes up, moving my body every day down to the supplements I'm taking, the food I'm eating, what time I go to bed at night, don't take a meeting before 9 a.m. Like all of those things keep my chronic stress lower. And so that is also helping me maintain work and life and not burn out. It's kind of the point that it gets to, because I don't think balance exists, but if you don't,
I don't think it's balance. I think it's like knowing yourself and your body well enough to know when you need to pause or when you need to slow down. And I think that's something that you and I both have discovered in the past year is like, oh, okay, this is starting to happen. Well, like for you, it was like your body was like, you need to slow down.
Yeah.
Like, period. So, you and I have had different struggles. So you have had the physical body that is telling you to calm down. And for me, it's a mental load. Like it gets to the point in life sometimes that I'm like, I cannot think about anything else or put any more information into my brain.
Yeah. Yeah. And you have to know, where your breaking point is, I guess. And I think you have a good grasp of that mentally. And I probably don't have as good of a grasp of that because I think I can disassociate slightly mentally, and then
I can too. That's the problem because or it had been the problem because I would disassociate and then it's like, oh, I am burnt to a crisp.
Yeah.
That's fun.
Yeah, it's not good.
No.
Yeah, I wish I had a better gauge on like my mental capacity. So many things that you're, carrying, and that's where I really have to have those morning routines of laying all of that down in a journal because I'm an external processor. So here's, really letting that go before I start my day so that I can go into the office and have a lighter load, I feel like, on my shoulders.
We're very opposite. I like the more we have these episodes, the more I'm like, we are so different.
Which is good.
Which is good. Because I'm an internal processor. So I process through writing, but it's not always journaling. But thinking and writing, that's how I process a lot.
That does work because I don't always have people to externally process with. So writing and journaling every morning is really important. And also going back to like gratitudes. Like I do gratitudes at the morning of every single morning and every single evening because there is always so much good that my mind does not want to focus on. There's so much good around me in my business and motherhood. And like there are pages and pages of things that I am so grateful for. And so like going back to that just pulls me out of that like self-absorption. And it's like, oh my gosh, I have so much. I really am so blessed. I have been given so many amazing gifts. Like,
yeah, that's a good one. I got out of the habit of doing the gratitude journal. I need to get back in that habit. It helps to see the positive things that are really going on.
Yeah.
I think one thing that I've really learned in trying to do everything is figuring out what battles are worth fighting and which ones are not it, because that can just be exhausting. And so I like to reserve my capacity for when am I going to go up to bat against this, or this is not a big deal. I'm not going to, that's fine. I think that's a big part of what makes it easy to do a lot of things is if you're not going against the current on everything, right?
Yeah.
Like if you're not fighting every single piece of it, is very helpful. And I know that that's really hard, especially for women to do, because I think we always want things done like the way that we want them done and this way. And sometimes I've just had to learn, like, you know what? It got done. I don't know how it got done. I don't care. If it didn't happen my way, that's fine. But that was a big thing for me to learn when I had my son of, you know what? It got done. It may have not gotten done the way I wanted it to get done, but it got done and I didn't have to do it.
Yeah.
And I think being okay with that is a big part of it.
Yeah. Delegation is huge. I think that was one of the really big ones. And then also knowing the seasons that you're in and being able to dial back in certain areas of your life so that you can go harder in other areas is really important. Like I have a really great group of friends that are singles and they hang out all the time, and I'm the only one that has a kiddo, but I was like, man, I haven't gotten to see them pretty much at all this summer because of my health stuff, but that's okay because I'm very, very present with Esther right now. And I'm very present with work. And when I'm at work, I'm at work. And when I'm at home, I'm at home. And I feel really proud of myself for like how I'm handling those two things. And so I can,
first of all, give yourself grace. Because you also freaking moved while running a business and you have multiple trips coming up for work or whatever. So
that was the other thing. I did cancel trips. So like know your seasons. Like I had a lot of trips planned for the summer too. And I was very aware my body was not doing well. And so toning that back significantly. And now, I mean, really the only travel that I am doing right now is for work. Yeah. Besides a small vacation time with Esther, but that's a road trip too. So that feels a little bit less daunting as getting on an airplane with a 4-year-old. So yeah, I think knowing my seasons is really, really important, and knowing that I'm going to be okay if I do slow down and take care of myself, and I'm not going to lose my business. That's hard for me. Because I think if I'm not constantly going or I'm not constantly pushing for sales, that we will get to a point where we don't have any revenue. I won't be able to pay my people, myself, and like all the desires and purpose I have in my business will just be smashed because that's like the greatest fear if I slow down. But that is not true. So
that's not reality.
I fight those narratives every morning. That's why journaling's like super important for me, because it's like, what is true?
Yeah. I think I'm easier to let things go than I thought I truly was, until I've surrounded myself with super wound up people like Peely and you and my friend Michael, who are just moving 9 million miles an hour, and I am not. But also, if things like today, for example, like this could have totally easily like spiraled out of control and just been into doom's land. And this is probably thanks to therapy, but like I'm like, that's out of my control. Like if it's out of my control, there's nothing I can do about it. And so like, I'm not going to let it dictate my whole day. It's like, okay, what can I do to control the situation right now? And let's do that. Or if it's really affecting me, let's pause it and then I'll come back to it.
Yeah.
I've learned that through therapy of like when to let go and when to not let go, and usually I just kind of like laugh about it because stuff gets so ridiculous that you're like, well, I mean, that's life. And
it is life. Yeah, and stuff like that's going to continue to happen. So what you are in control of is how you respond to said adversity or whatever that's happening. And so I think that's a really good perspective to have, because you don't realize how much energy it takes when you allow something that derails to just like send you into a spiral. Like that sucks the energy out of you, and what that's doing inside of your body, and the cortisol that's spiking because you're in fight or flight and you're in this survival mode for no reason, and you've chosen to like
to let
there.
that happen.
Yeah, you have, because like you can feel things and choose something different. And control your response.
Control my response. And I tell that to my son all the time. He's 4. And I'm like, you can only control your actions and your reactions. And my husband Harrison is like, that is so deep for a 4-year-old. And I'm like, this is when you should learn it. Like, because it's about regulating your emotions.
Yeah.
You can only control your actions and your reactions. And then I also read this other quote by Layla Hormozi, which, but she said, something bad happened to you and that was 15 minutes of your day and you've allowed it to ruin your whole day.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so that's a big thing. And that is not an easy thing to do. Just FYI, it takes a lot of self-knowing and self-control. But I do think that when you start to master that and master your own emotions of like, man, that sucks and that derailed me and that happened, but I can either choose to let that spiral me down, I can choose to laugh about it, or I can choose to say like, you know what, that did suck, but what can I do now moving forward? And I think that that's just everything in life. It's not just business, but if your toddler's having a tantrum, you are the one in control of that situation. And I think that that's how you manage things better. That's how you're able to do a lot of things more, because you're not letting external things affect your life, or affect your decision making. And I would say that that's a big piece of it, is having a support system, having accountability for yourself, and then also knowing when to react, react and act, what you choose to do with that.
Yeah. I think some of the main things that it's like, know yourself to grow. It's what one of my clients would always say, like, you've got to know yourself to be able to grow. And when I'm just thinking back on this like entire episode, it's like, okay, well, how do you balance work and life? It's, you got to do the hard work of like dealing with yourself.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly,
that's
in the areas where your parents failed you and you've failed yourself, and like, you know, the things that were completely out of your control and the things that were in your control, you have to process through those, because when you're running your own business, come like sooner or later, you're going to have to deal with them.
Yeah.
So what I think has helped is like a lot of therapy. And I mean, one of my biggest is like my relationship with God. Like that's a huge one, that has allowed me to like actually know how to cope and not lose my mind on a daily basis. So I think you have to have those other things that are outside of yourself to help you heal and grow, because we've all done bad stuff and we've all been on the receiving end of that. So you have to deal with those. You can't just like stuff it down and think it's never going to come back up, because especially when you're an entrepreneur and you're managing people and a team, and then you have your clients and you have so much of your character comes out in running a business, and your character is refined and molded during those years of dealing with like the bad stuff that's been done to you and the bad stuff you've done.
Mm-hmm.
And so I would say you've got to go there first. And if you haven't, there's no chance of not drowning at some point. And so just remember that if you reach a point of burnout and it's like, I can't go on anymore, I don't have work-life balance, like I'm miserable, I hate this, maybe it's time to like do the personal work that
revisit some stuff.
Yeah. That you've probably been avoiding, because no one wants to really, I don't know that we willingly go there, but it really is for our good.
Yes.
It's been for our good for sure. Like I wouldn't be able to handle the things that I handled the way that I handle them today without doing that work.
Yeah. And I also think just also knowing like the work never ends.
That's what I was going to say. Like I'm still doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
I don't have to be in, counseling twice a week, every week now, but I still do see a therapist once a month, and I still am journaling, and I'm still very, very dependent on my relationship with God. Like those things are not going away. And so it's like, how do you settle into that? Because for so long, it's like so uncomfortable. You're avoiding, but it's like, okay, I can't avoid anymore. This is how it's going to be. How do I settle into that growth that is going to constantly be coming and that we're going to have to be navigating?
I think you just have to accept the fact that nothing is perfect and nothing is going to go according to plan. Like, I think that's, you can.
But that statement alone can like spiral someone into wanting to quit their business.
Yeah.
It's hard.
That's true. I mean, I have a different mentality, and I think we've discovered that as we've talked, but I think that for me gives me permission. I'm like, if everybody's having issues, then it's fine that I have issues.
Yeah.
And I think that's part of the problem also with social media and with the rise of these glam influencers and making business look so glam.
Yeah.
It's not glam. I mean, there's parts of it that are like, heck yeah, I love this. But there's other parts that you're like, wow, I have to do a lot of mental work. I have to do a lot of introspection. I have to learn things about myself because I'm the end of the line, right? I don't have a boss that I can escalate this client to. That's it. They come to me, and I'm the one that has to either repair the relationship or do something. There's no, like, you can only avoid things for so long. That gave me a lot of mental freedom. That may spiral some people.
Right.
I hope that doesn't.
This is what you have to know. You just have to know
you just have to know yourself.
I'm very different. Like, and you're very different. And so
I would think whatever's the thing that's going to help you unlock that mental freedom, having grace with yourself is a big, big part of it.
Which is how we started the podcast episode. So
I think having grace, and I believe in like tactical processes and systems are going to help you. I think learning how to delegate, which is not an easy skill. It is very hard to do. But when you can start to see the fruits of your labor of delegation and trusting a team and trusting your group, your support system, I think you'll start to be able to give yourself more freedom to do the big things. And I think that's maybe how I've thought about it is I don't need to know exactly how Harrison loaded the dishwasher. What is the thing that I care about? The dishes are done, right?
Yeah, they're clean.
So I would, maybe if you're struggling with that, think about like, what is that end result that I'm trying to get?
Yeah.
And then who can do it better than me, or who can I trust to at least get it 80% of the way done, and being okay that it's not done exactly to the way that you want it to be done.
Yeah.
I think coming in with what is the end result I want and let it go.
Elsa said it best. Let it go. Oh my gosh. We'll see you next time.
And that's a wrap on this episode of We Know Marketing, we promise. If you found this helpful, hit subscribe, leave a review, and share it with your business bestie. Want more? Follow us for updates, behind the scenes, and plenty of marketing gems.